NFL Today on CBS Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines.
And welcome back, everyone. Right now, Microsoft Surface simplifies today's game in Miami between the Chargers and the Dolphins as we get you first on the field. Let's send you out there live with our announcers, Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts. Gentlemen.
JB, it's a crowded race in the AFC as we hit week 9 of the NFL season. 11 teams in the conference are over the 500 mark. 2 teams going head-to-head today. The Chargers have dropped 2 in a row after a 5-game winning streak. They take on the Miami Dolphins post-Halloween. Winners of 2 straight with a challenging schedule in November ahead. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. Jenny Dell will join us down on the sidelines. 2 teams trying to figure out where they fit in to the AFC and the overall landscape right now as we hit the month of November.
Yeah, both teams commented to us yesterday that because it is November, it's time to start thinking about what they need to do to get into the playoffs. Today's game will go a long way in determining their playoff future.
Well, for San Diego, a little bit of a scheduling quirk. They're coming off a Thursday night loss to Denver, so they play today against Miami, then a bye week. So that's 1 game over a 23-day period. And look at the schedule the Chargers will face beginning in late November. Baltimore, New England, Denver, San Francisco, and Kansas City. San Diego does have a Pro Bowl quarterback leading the way, and Philip Rivers has really clicked with head coach Mike McCoy.
Well, the Charger running game is ranked 30th in the league, and Rivers has had to come to the rescue time and time again. He's delivered and distributed the ball in typical Rivers fashion, completing 68% of his passes and getting everyone involved. 5 Chargers have 20 or more catches on the season, and his special relationship with his tight end, Antonio Gates, is one for the record books. Let's focus on what makes Gates so good. His basketball background comes in handy near the goal line. Watch him post up the defender, quickly turn to Rivers, and the result is nearly indefensible. Another TD for this dynamic duo.
It is the most prolific quarterback to tight end combination in NFL history, with Brady and Gronkowski on their tail. Defensively, though, for San Diego, problems with Peyton Manning. Everybody's had problems with Peyton Manning this season, coming off that Thursday night loss, but some good news for the Chargers. They get back a Pro Bowl corner to help out today.
Well, Flowers was he's coming off a concussion suffered 2 weeks ago, and the Chargers need him badly. They're counting on Flowers to limit the deep ball threat of Dolphin wide receiver Mike Wallace today, and that's an area, Ian, as you alluded to, the Chargers were just torched against Denver last week.
All right, let's talk about this Miami squad. Back-to-back victories, trying to hit the halfway point of the season at 5-3 if they get a victory here against San Diego. Ryan Tannehill is in his 3rd year. It's his 40th NFL start, Dan. Where is Tannehill right now in terms of the progress report?
What has impressed me about him is his versatility as he continues to develop. His willingness to hang in the pocket and deliver has improved, and he's tough to corral in the pocket because of his size and strength. But where he is most dangerous of late is on the read option game. 3 runs in the last 3 games of 30 yards or more has defenses around the NFL taking notice.
But there have been some frustrations on offense. You look back to the game last week against Jacksonville. Miami gets the win on the road, but it was the defense that really led the way. 2 interception returns for touchdowns, producing 14 points. The entire Miami offense had 13 points. They sacked Blake Bortles 4 times, and they also forced a fumble. Time right now for our Tools for Success, presented by Home Depot.
Dolphin running back Lamar Miller is thriving in new offensive coordinator Bill Lazor's spread offense. Miller is averaging just a tad under 5 yards a carry. And for the San Diego Chargers, Eric Weddle leads the team in tackles. And of his 19 career interceptions, he's returned 3 for touchdowns. San Diego has had too many negative runs this season, and that is after leading the NFL last year in fewest negative runs. Defensive coordinator Kevin Coyle plans on using Dion Jordan in a variety of places today, including times matched up with Charger tight end Antonio Gates in pass coverage.
It is the 30th all-time meeting between the Chargers and the Dolphins. San Diego has lost 7 straight in South Florida. Opening kickoff coming up, the NFL on CBS. It's the NFL on CBS from Sun Life Stadium in Miami Gardens. The Chargers and the Dolphins. Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. The kickoff is next. 69 degrees, sunny skies, a light breeze in South Florida. Before we get things started, let's go down to the field. Check in with Jenny Dell.
Well, Ian, the Dolphins have a mantra for the 2014 season. Protect the shield. They actually have a big bronze shield that is displayed in the locker room and travels with the team. The shield itself was initially given to Coach Philbin by a group of Navy SEALs, and Philbin looks at it with a symbol. It's one team, and they have one common goal. I spoke with Ryan Tannenhill about it, and he said that is a visual reminder, sometimes a rally cry, that they put the team first, play for the guy next to you, and have a warrior mentality. Guys?
All right, Jenny, as we get you set for the Dolphins and the Chargers. Miami won the toss, deferred to the second half, so San Diego will receive. Caleb Sturgis will kick it off. Chris Davis and the veteran Ronnie Brown are deep. We're underway from Miami. Davis, the return man, won't get a touch, and San Diego will have it at the 20-yard line to open things up. Philip Rivers, impressive numbers once again. He is 418 yards away from 35,000 for his career.
Yeah, he told us yesterday that it'll be a boost for the Charger running game to have Donald Brown back to share the load with rookie Brandon Oliver. And in the passing game, the Chargers must find a way to neutralize Cameron Wake. In Rivers' own words, he says Wake can wreck a game.
San Diego, they have struggled in November over the last 3 seasons. 2-10. Trying to reverse fortunes in the month, certainly considering the schedule they have coming up. Rivers looking to throw it. Gets out of trouble. It'll be a sack on the first play from scrimmage. Randy Starks getting him down low. It's a loss of 3 on first down.
Yeah, the Dolphins come with the blitz on Rivers this time. He cannot find his initial receiver. Then the pocket just collapses as number 55 comes in on Koamisi with a good power rush on DJ Fluker. Gave Rivers no escape route.
Antonio Gates heads to the San Diego sideline now on a 2nd and 13. Handed off. The rookie Oliver is dropped at the 20. Picks up 3. Koamisi in on the stop. Well, the challenge for the tackles, Dunlop and Fluker dealing with Wake and Vernon. Great 1-2 punch rushing the pass here. Backs and receivers, Brandon Oliver has been a revelation considering the loss of Ryan Matthews. Matthews hoping to come back after the bye week and return from the knee injury. Gates is back on the field. Dan mentioned Donald Brown is available after suffering the concussion against the Jets. Full receiver set. Gates goes in motion on a 3rd and 10, first possession of the day. Rivers out of the gun, throws on an out route. It's caught along the sideline. Keenan Allen working an excellent route for 17 yards and a first down.
Yeah, we're against Brent Grimes, who's playing some outstanding football for the Dolphins this season. But watch this route. Really sharp to the outside. Good timing between Rivers and Allen. Completing over 68% of his passes. This is a good start for Rivers after the first play sack.
Allen had his first touchdown of the season in that loss to Denver last Thursday night, 35-21. 2 tight ends in this formation. Oliver trying to push the pile and come up short of the 40-yard line. Gain of a yard and a half. Philip Wheeler in on the stop. Defensively for Miami, we've talked about Wake and Vernon. They've got a healthy competition going between the two of them. Each trying to top the other. Misi is back. He's played in only 4 games this season because of the ankle injury, and Louis Delmas is the AFC Defensive Player of the Week after that 81-yard interception return for a touchdown against Jacksonville. 2nd and 9 now for San Diego. We're just underway. Rivers, plenty of time, and hits Antonio Gates. Gates is tackled short of the first down after an 8-yard pickup. Wilson and Misi combined to bring down Antonio Gates.
Yeah, you can see the blitz off the edge there. 33 catches on the season now for Gates. But how do you leave him so wide open on a blitz like that? Had to be a mix-up in the Dolphins secondary. There's one guy that Rivers is going to go to time after time. It's big number 85.
Gates last week became the Chargers' all-time leader in yards receiving. Passing Hall of Famer Lance Allworth. 3rd and 1. Trying to convert it. Oliver. Good effort. Flag comes down late. Oliver has enough for the first down. 2 penalty markers on the play.
I think the Dolphins had trouble finding out where he was. He got so low. Starts out pretty low at 5'7".
Brad Allen is here.
Holding. Offense.
Coming back.
10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So for Mike McCoy and the Chargers, this will be a tougher 3rd down conversion.
This is just a killer penalty because Oliver had the first down. And now, as you said, this brings up a tough 3rd down and 11. Dolphins have chose to put pressure on Rivers early in the game. They got a sack on the first play of the game, but he's hit his last 2 passes against the blitz.
Chargers interaction 4th in the NFL and 3rd down conversion percentage, just over 50%. But now a 3rd and 11. They crowd the line. Miami, 3 receivers set with Royal, Allen, and Floyd. Ronnie Brown sets up to the side of Rivers. On 3rd and 11, Rivers lets it fly. Looking for the sideline. Malcolm Floyd brings it in cleanly. 14 yards and a first down for San Diego.
Good pressure by the Dolphins, but what a catch on the sidelines. Now, the question is, will there be a challenge here by Joe Philbin? Too late.
San Diego went to the line quickly. Smart heads-up play by the Chargers to speed it up. They leave Ronnie Brown in there, and he picks up 5 yards. They don't allow Miami to even question it on the tight call along the perimeter.
That's the experience of an 11-year veteran at quarterback, Philip Rivers, knowing that that call might have been challenged, got his team to the line of scrimmage. Not only did they snap the ball before Philbin could get the flag out to challenge, they picked up about 5 yards.
So Joe Philbin's squad, the defense still on the field, now facing the 8th play of the drive for San Diego, keeping the drive alive on the conversion. 2nd and 5. Rivers throws a strike. Rivers connects with Floyd again, who lost his helmet on the play. It's a 14-yard pass play and another first down for the Chargers.
Well, the Dolphin corners are pretty feisty, pretty good. This is against Cortland Finnegan here. He's got good coverage, but the timing and the big body of Floyd, you can see how Rivers threw the ball to his right shoulder. Finnegan playing off the left side was not big enough or had enough reach to get in there and knock the ball away.
Philip Rivers off to a hot start. 4 of 4 for 53 yards. Chargers are on the move just short of the 30-yard line. Hand it off. Oliver cuts it upfield. Forward progress will get him across the 30-yard line for a gain of 1.5 yards. Hit by Wheeler. San Diego 24 points on its first possession. That's tied for 4th in the NFL. So Mike McCoy brought that offense that he had in Denver, was part of the Carolina coaching staff prior to that, and he and Philip Rivers have been on the same page. Terrific numbers in the 1.5 years that McCoy has been the head man. 2nd and 9. At the 9-minute mark, first quarter. Big hole. Oliver. A blast up the middle. Blocks from Ornberger up front, and a flag thrown on the play. 15 yards on the run. It's coming back.
Holding. Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So it is Ornberger. Remember, the Chargers lost Nick Hardwick for the season. He's on IR.
Watch Ornberger. Gets out on the linebacker and then just spins Koomisi down to the ground. Got that right hand underneath the shoulder pad there as Oliver goes by.
Hardwick done with a season-ending neck injury. They were happy to have Ornberger, a veteran, in there, and Rivers told us that he and Ornberger have been able to build some chemistry quickly. 2nd and 19 now, back it up to the 39-yard line. We've got 8:35 to play in the first. Working from the gun. Rivers pulls the trigger too high. Looking for Brandon Oliver. Where have the Chargers missed Danny Woodhead in the passing game, Dan?
Well, they really have. I mean, Woodhead is as good as there is in the league on coming out of the backfield and on all those option routes. Chargers also miss Ryan Matthews, who they hope to get back after the bye.
Chargers have been very good on 3rd and long situations. This is a 3rd and 19. Take the handoff. Set it up for Keenan Allen. Slow down. Allen stumbling and very close. Louis Delmas trying to get him down low.
Well, Eddie Royal does a good job of providing a key block. Here's Royal, number 11 out here with Floyd. But watch the block here by Royal as he gets away with a hold on Grimes. Tremendous job of putting that left hand down, keeping his balance, and putting the Chargers in a very makeable 4th down and 1. Chargers on the year, excellent on 4th down.
McCoy will keep the offense on the field. Would have been a 40-yard field goal attempt. Instead, they'll look for the 4th and a yard. Rivers. Oliver is dropped. The Chargers will come up with nothing. Rashad Jones reading the play. It's a loss of 1. Miami takes over on downs. Long drive for San Diego, and no points to open things up in South Florida. Rashad Jones has been a difference maker for the Miami D's after missing the first 4 games, suspended by the league, violating the league's substance abuse policy. He has come back, and he has had an impact for the Dolphins. 1st and 10 after San Diego goes 13 plays. They have half the quarter go by the wayside and no points. Tannehill throws on 1st down. He's got Jarvis Landry, the talented rookie out of LSU. It's a 9-yard gain.
Let's go back to the stop by Rashad Jones here on the blitz. Just shoots the gap here and gives Oliver just one way to go, and that's where Grimes will come in, the corner on that side, doing another fine job. This very aggressive secondary, turning the Chargers away on 4th and short.
Go.
Miami now a 2nd and 1, the number 13 ranked offense in the NFL, averaging 355 yards per game. Lamar Miller gets his first touch. Miller breaks through an arm tackle. He's got a 1st down, 7-yard gain. Good block from Satelli. Ryan Tannehill, 19 and 20 as a starter for the Miami Dolphins.
And according to Joe Philbin, he should carry the ball 5 to 6 times today. Philbin feels that when Tannehill has successful runs, it helps him get into a rhythm and builds his confidence with each succeeding play.
They're actually the number 6 rushing team in the NFL, not only because of Tannehill, but Lamar Miller having a breakout year for Miami. Tannehill over the middle. He connects. Charles Clay, big play tight end. He hasn't had a lot of big plays this season. Played very well last year in the victory over San Diego. 24 yards and a 1st down.
Well, Tannehill off to a great start. You can see the speed of Clay as he crosses behind the linebackers there. Eric Weddle playing up short, and there goes Clay, who's got tremendous running ability after the catch. Has been battling a sore knee, but he looks healthy now.
He had 6 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown in Miami's 20-16 win over San Diego last November. On 1st and 10, it's Miller running into a crowd, but keeps the legs churning out across the 35. Mike Pouncey with the block. Take a look at the starting offense. Dallas Thomas is in for the injured Darren College, dealing with migraines and a back injury at left guard. Backs and receivers, Dolphins are very excited about the big play potential of the 2nd-round pick from LSU, Jarvis Landry, who they call Juice. Bill Lazor is in his 1st year as the offensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins. He was Philadelphia's quarterback coach last year under Chip Kelly. Tannehill. Oh, great effort. Mike Wallace, the juggle. And he secures it against Sharice Wright.
Pretty good effort here by Wallace, although he should have caught the ball the first time. It was perfectly thrown away from the defensive right. But hanging with it is Wallace, and that gives the Dolphins another 1st down. This is an impressive opening drive for the Dolphins, something they haven't been able to do very often this season.
Wallace hasn't been shy about voicing his frustrations about the lack of big plays from this Miami offense. New set of downs, a jump, movement. Miami pointing in San Diego's direction. Kendall Reyes trying to get the edge.
Encroachment. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Defensive coordinator John Pagano, his group currently ranked 10th overall in team defense, his 13th year with the Chargers, his 3rd year running the D.
3 penalties on the Chargers here in the first quarter. 2 on the offense, holding, and now this offsides against Reyes.
So it sets Miami up at the 22-yard line of San Diego. Full receiver set from the gun. Tannehill. Timing play. Too high. Flag thrown. Wallace matched up with Wright.
Now they're going to call Mike Wallace for pushing off on Sharice Wright. Fans thinking it's going to go Miami way. Not so.
Pass interference. Offense number 11. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It is Wallace on the push. Offensive PI.
Working against Sharice Wright, trying to get to the sidelines. He's got his left hand right on his chin strap, it looked like. A little bit of a push off there. You know, that ball was uncatchable. Ball thrown out of bounds. The officials didn't get together and talk about that part of it.
2 catches for 59 yards last week in the win over Jacksonville. Quick hitter. Jarvis Landry. Terrific fake. Reggie Walker couldn't stick with the fleet-footed Landry. 13 yards on the cut.
You know, some analysts might call this lingering lingerie.
Yeah, I know one in particular.
Well, it's Reggie Walker's. Great move here. Landry, the guys call him the juice because he brings this type of effort and energy.
Ryan Tannehill is now 4 of 4, 51 yards. Don't know if Bill Raftery is actually watching this game right now.
He's an homage.
He'll get a text. Lamar Miller slashing for a first down. It's a 5-yard gain for the Miami native. Harold Gator Hoskins with a block. There's no Deion Sims available here because of a toe injury, so Hoskins will see a lot of action in those double tight end sets with Clay.
Well, the Dolphins get that great play out of Jarvis Landry, and that just erased the pass interference call on Wallace, and now they're in business at the 13.
8th play of the drive. We are under 3 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Tannehill out of the gun. Miller goes in motion. Tannehill fires. It's complete. He gets Hartline involved, spun down by Flowers. Hartline not putting up the numbers that he's put up in previous years. 6-yard pickup for the possession receiver Hartline.
His 21st catch of the year, and he has to get inside a corner in Flowers, who's playing way inside. Good throw by Tannehill. Nice and low right to the midsection for Hartline.
4 different receivers have been involved. 2nd and 4, hand it off. Miller gets to the outside, not enough for the first down. Sharice Wright able to fence him in. It's a 2-yard pickup.
Wright did a nice job of fighting off the block of Mike Wallace there, not allowing Miller to cut back inside the block and get in the end zone.
So now facing 3rd and short. Ball spotted at the 6-yard line.
Well, this is where Tannehill has the ability on the read option to pull it and run it himself.
San Diego has really struggled defensively in the red zone, dead last in the NFL. 3rd and 3 for the Dolphins. Tannehill from the gun. Has the time, throws, touchdown! Connects with Charles Clay. Dolphins strike first.
That's just a beautiful throw by Tannehill. Watch as he lofts it over the defender, Marcus Gilchrist, and Clay running away from Butler to the corner. What a start for Ryan Tannehill. What a start for the Dolphins. 6 for 6 on the drive for Tannehill for 63 yards and that score.
Tannehill's completion percentage at home this season, Dan, 55% coming into this game. As you said, a perfect 6 of 6 on this opening drive for 63 yards and the touchdown to Clay. Extra point from Sturgis. 7-0 lead for Miami. Dolphins consecutive wins for the first time this season, trying to make it 3 in a row. Chargers will have the ball when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. The Dodge Brothers. 100 years later, their spirit lives on. And by McDonald's, official sponsor of the NFL. I'm loving it.
Strong statement by the Miami offense. 10 plays, 77 yards, just under 6 minutes of elapsed time. The second opening drive for a touchdown this season for Bill Lazor, Ryan Tannehill, and the rest of the Dolphins. Now Philip Rivers will get another crack at this Miami D. Impressive drive for San Diego to open up, but elected to go for it on 4th and 1. They were stopped there. Didn't take the field goal attempt. Davis, the return man for San Diego. Davis up the middle. Across the 25-yard line. And that's a little bit of a back and forth. Ajira Tutu. Officials come in. Players step in. Rashard Matthews also involved.
That's one of those situations where nobody is willing to back down. Because it's still early in the game. They all got a bunch of energy.
No penalty flags from Brad Allen. We'll step aside here in the first. This week, Thursday Night Football showcases an AFC North rivalry. The Browns take on the Bengals Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. San Diego and Miami, 1:35 to play in this opening quarter. Chargers have the football with the first and 10 of the 26 down, 7-0. Handed off. Oliver gets stuffed by Misi. So you can already see the impact that Koa Misi has on this defensive unit for Miami. That's a loss of 2 on the play.
Well, it's going to be a run blitz by Koa Misi. Watch how quickly from the left side of the screen he gets penetration. And Oliver, after 2 steps, has nowhere to go but down.
Misi's got that high motor now in his 5th year in the NFL. He was a defensive end in college at Utah, playing inside linebacker for this Miami team. 2nd and 12 now for San Diego. Oliver remains in there. Under a minute to go in the first. Rivers slings it out to Oliver. Oliver making 2 Dolphins miss. Takes it across the 30-yard line and picks up 8 yards on the catch and run. Finally brought down by Grimes.
You know that movie made to get away from Koa Misi? You know what they call that?
What's that?
The Oliver Twist.
No!
Yes.
You just coined that.
And it's not worth a cent.
There's so many comparisons with Oliver and Darren Sproles, just based on their size, the uniform number. Sproles, former San Diego Charger. 3rd and 4. Rivers in trouble, gets out of it. Philip Rivers, the slide, and it appears to be right there, depending on the spot. Time has run out at the end of this first quarter. Looks like he got a bad spot. We'll return to Miami after these messages. The Dolphins leading the Chargers 7-0, the NFL on CBS.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network. And by T. Rowe Price, understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence.
Well, the question as we start the second quarter, did Philip Rivers get the necessary yardage for this first down? The officials claim he did not. The slide by Rivers.
It's the start of the slide when that front knee goes down. Where's the ball?
The ball is behind him.
That's the problem there. If he goes head first, he's going to make it. This might even be worth a challenge, though, by Mike McCoy. The difficult part is that because of the change of quarters, they've moved the ball to the other end of the field. It's going to be impossible to challenge it.
They flipped the field, and San Diego isn't challenging, accepting the fact that Rivers was short on that scramble. Cyphers the punt. The exotic Jarvis Landry. Past the 35. AFC Special Teams Player of the Month in October, a 15-yard return. 7-0 lead for Tannehill and the Dolphins.
You are watching the NFL on CBS.
The CBS Sports app now has the fastest scores. Download it today. Be the first to get your football updates and scores right on your phone. Miami takes over, and it's Tannehill keeping it himself. Near the 45, it's a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, he's got everybody involved in the passing game on that first drive. Here's Jarvis Landry for 9, and then Clay for 24. Wallace with a 5-yard catch. Landry for another 13. Hartline for 6. And then the touchdown to Clay, 6 for 6 for 63 yards, and a great opening drive, something the Dolphins have lacked this season.
Tannehill has a run of at least 30 yards in 3 straight games. Very effective when they set things up for Tannehill. He can get to the outside. Drop ball, try to hit Lamar Miller. Andrew Gatchkar over there defensively. Manti Te'o continues to sit with the foot injury for San Diego.
And Miller's done a good job at catching the ball out of the backfield this season. 20 catches on the season at 1 touchdown and 3 catches last week against Jacksonville.
They split the duties in Te'o's spot. You'll see Gatchkar, Reggie Walker, Cavell Connor. 3rd and 6 now for the Dolphins. It's a big play early here for the San Diego defense. Just underway in the second quarter. Tannehill throwing to the outside. Jarvis Landry, another catch. He's got the angle and the first down. 7-yard pickup.
And the key word is pick, because this is a pick on the outside as Mike Wallace is going to come in and create traffic problem. That allows Jarvis to get to the sideline and beat Chris Davis and pick up the first down. But well-designed play and perfectly executed. The officials did not call the pick.
We asked Joe Philbin about Landry. He said he's instinctive. He does a little bit of everything. He's got excellent hands, and he just brings so much energy to the offense and toughness. Landry sets up in the slot. Tannehill looking downfield, now throws. Wide open, Charles Clay. Pushed out by Flowers. Another first down for the Miami offense. That one covers 18 yards.
And it starts with great pass protection. Tannehill wanted to go deep, but it wasn't there. The Chargers took away the deep pass, but they could not stay with Charles Clay over the middle. And Clay doing a good job of working his way back to the ball and then getting extra yards after the catch.
The only incompletion for Tannehill was a drop ball. He's 8 of 9, 88 yards and a touchdown. Tannehill on the option. Tannehill gets to the perimeter, and there's the running skill of Ryan Tannehill, cutting for 22 yards and a new set of downs for Miami.
Well, he's going to key off of Reggie Walker here. Watch Walker come crashing down on the fake to Lamar Miller. And now a blocker out in front for Tannehill. Charles Clay on the outside is Hartline, and it's a 22-yard run for Tannehill. 2 runs on this series. It's been the difference. He's
such a natural, fluid runner, former wide receiver at Texas A&M before becoming the full-time quarterback there.
And a pretty good high school quarterback at Big Spring, Texas.
First and goal at the 10. Tannehill looks. Catch made by Miller, fights for extra yards. 8-yard pickup. It'll be second and goal from the 2. Hit by Butler.
This has been a problem that's been exposed for San Diego as a lack of pass rush. Tannehill has not been hurried at all today, and if you go back to that Thursday night disaster in Denver, lack of a pass rush allows these quarterbacks to just pick the defense apart regardless of who's playing.
San Diego allowing touchdowns in the red zone at an 82% clip. 7th play of the drive. Wallace shifts behind. It's a handoff. Miller is stopped. Wrestled to the ground by Butler. No gain on the play. 3rd and goal for Miami.
Bill Lazor's offense, he told me, is a combination of what he learned working for Chip Kelly in Philadelphia and what he learned working with Joe Gibbs and Ernie Zampese back when Gibbs came back to the Redskins for his 2nd tour of duty. Passing game is Gibbs and the running game is Kelly's.
3rd and goal for Miami. 2 tight ends, Clay and Hoskins. Dolphins trying to add to their lead. Inside run, Miller steamrolls into the end zone. Touchdown, Dolphins. Miami doing it through the air and on the ground.
A tremendous push on the left side of that offensive line. Samson Sattelli from his center position. Brandon Albert, watch them all come this way. And Miller gets low, drives his shoulder into the defense and carries the defense into the end zone.
8 plays, 61 yards, 2 long touchdown drives for the Miami Dolphins. Extra point away from opening up a 14-0 lead. Sturgis on for the point after. All scoring plays are reviewed. Just making sure that Lamar Miller got in. It's been verified, and here's Sturgis. Lamar Miller. Remember, they brought in Noshan Moreno to battle for that lead running back spot. Moreno goes down with an injury, and Miller has come up aces. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by MetLife here at Sun Life Stadium. Opened back in 1987. Scoring summary for Miami, 8 plays, 61 yards. Sturgis kicking it off. Chris Davis is the return man. San Diego have gotten no pop in their return game this season. And Davis will take it to the 30-yard line. That's where the Chargers will have it after the tackle by Will Davis. 14-0 lead, Miami. Tomorrow on NCIS Los Angeles, a new case will open old wounds. Don't miss a dramatic new NCIS Los Angeles on its new night tomorrow at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. Chargers trailing 14-0, 11 minutes to go in this first half. Rivers throws it on first down, intercepted, has it picked off by Rashad Jones. Miami has been tremendous, turning teams over via the INT. That's a 16-yard return.
And it's just Rivers' 6th interception thrown this season. This one's going to get away from him high, trying to get it down the field to Malcolm Floyd. He overshoots him, and there's Jones for his 2nd pick of the year. Malcolm Floyd goes at 6'5", but he had no shot at that one. Thrown into triple coverage. Heck of a job of getting way up in the air by Jones.
Miami leads the NFL in interception return yardage. Now 276 on 7 picks. Phillip Rivers, 4 interceptions in his last 3 games, and the Dolphins take over. 1st and 10 at the San Diego 31. Damian Williams is in there. He's the rookie out of Oklahoma. And they get Williams involved, breaks a tackle. Everything Miami is doing is working. Donald Butler whiffed, and Williams turns it into a 21-yard catch and run.
Yeah, the momentum is totally on the Dolphins side because of the way they're playing on both sides of the ball. Stopping the Chargers on a 4th down in the first quarter, and now giving Tannehill and company great field position after the Rivers interception.
It's 1st and goal at the 10. Brandon Gibson is in for Miami. Tannehill is 10 of 11, 117 yards and a touchdown. Fake it. Try to hit Gibson. Gibson looking for a flag, and the veteran won't get it. Chris Davis, rookie out of Auburn, in coverage.
Actually, it's Brandon Flowers. Watch Flowers going to tackle Gibson before the ball gets there. This is why you're a Pro Bowl corner. Sometimes you get these type of calls. Tannehill doesn't agree with it. Good play by Flowers.
So 2nd and goal now for Miami. 14-0 lead. We've got 10:19 to play in this second quarter. Damian Williams tried to circle to an opening. No gain on the play. Marcus Gilchrist with the stop.
It's imperative that the Chargers obviously would like to shut the Dolphins out here, but at least at worst give up just the field goal.
Dan, fans always wonder, why didn't the coach go for it on 4th and 1? Had a chance, you can't get a yard, and it's momentum shifts that take place.
Especially early in the game when the defense is still fresh as the Dolphin defense was on that play.
Mike McCoy made the decision not to take the field goal and got stuffed out on 4th and 1. Tannehill, plenty of time. Directs it to Williams. Brought down by Eric Weddle and company.
And that's a real big stand for San Diego. John Pagano deciding just to rush 3 men at Tannehill. Gave him a lot of time to look around, but there's 8 men dropped into the secondary, and the secondary is condensed because of the field position. Not a lot of holes in that defense when there are 8 defenders back there.
And that's a win for this San Diego D, considering the way Miami was moving the ball. Caleb Sturgis is on for a short 26-yard attempt. Fields will hold it. John Denny snaps it. And Miami now leads it 17-0. 8:53 to play, second quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Visit Domino's.com. T-Mobile. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Beautiful day here in South Florida, and strong first half for the Miami offense. 166 yards and a 17-0 lead over the San Diego Chargers. Sturgis kicking off to Davis. And won't get a chance to even touch it as we send it downstairs. Check in with the 3rd member of our crew, Jenny Dell.
Hall of Fame quarterback Dan Marino is one of the Dolphins' special advisors, but he has a new unofficial title, you could say, and that's a quarterback tutor. He's actually been working with Ryan Tannehill and Matt Moore, and Tannehill said that he stayed after on Friday, and anytime you have a guy like Marino, a Hall of Fame caliber guy, you listen to him. He said something that really helps him out is receiver adjustments, things he would tell his receivers when regarding running routes and how to get them open. He said he's lucky to have a guy of his caliber in his corner. I spoke with Marino also, and Marino told me, that he appreciates and enjoys sitting and watching these guys in practice and giving them advice on the field.
You know, it seems pretty rational, Jenny. You've got Dan Marino on the payroll. You got a chance for a young quarterback to learn from one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, I was talking to Dan yesterday at practice as well, and I was learning things from him as well, just about the things that he was talking to the young quarterbacks about. And quarterbacks speak a different type of language, as you know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying half the time. Get it to Donald Brown for a gain of 1. Jenkins combining with Misi. So let's talk about the San Diego offense. We saw them last week. You and I happened to work the game on radio against the Denver Broncos. And we know what they're capable of. McCoy and Rivers have found this rhythm to produce big numbers. But they're in a 17-0 hole and now trying to find a flow here in this first half.
Well, it's still early, and that's the key for San Diego. The other key is the guy that's about to get this ball from center, Phillip Rivers.
Out of the pocket. Rivers sets it up. Great improvisation, but Brown can't hold on to it. Cameron Wake was there tight.
Well, the Chargers have made too many mistakes in this first half. A couple of offsides on offense. And then this play is going to be a huge play for San Diego down the sidelines. But Brown takes his eyes off it, doesn't cradle it to his body, but you can see the type of player Rivers is. Not going to quit on a play. He's going to extend it and make somebody uncover, as he did that time with Brown.
They gained just 306 yards against Denver last Thursday night. They gave up 425 to the Broncos. Dime package here for Miami. This is a 3rd and 9 for San Diego. 7:42 to go in this first half. Rivers steps up, looks, throws, incomplete. Try to hit Keenan Allen in a crowd of Dolphin defenders. Rivers wanted a flag.
And it was basically just a two-man rush for Miami. They dropped 8, and they had one spy on Rivers in case he escapes the pocket. But you can see all the Dolphin white shirts here as Rivers trying to squeeze it into Allen. Finnegan with a good break on the ball thrown behind both of them.
Another punt for Mike Cyphers, averaging 46 yards per kick. Landry waiting for it at the 14. Sailing punt, backpedaling Landry from the 9. He's got some room to work with. Landry, split special teamers. Takes it across the 30-yard line for a 21-yard return after the 55-yard punt. 17-0 Miami, looking for more. Thursday on CBS, Holmes and Watson are back, and this week it's a case of mind over matter. Don't miss a new elementary Thursday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. Second straight possession that Lamar Miller has been on the sidelines for Miami. They went with rookie Damian Williams last drive. Daniel Thomas opens up the running back spot on this possession. On first down, Tannehill, dump off. Thomas able to shake one defender loose. Stumbling backwards across the 40. Corey Liuget, the Miami native, brings him down. A 12-yard gain for Thomas.
Yeah, this has been a symptom of the Charger defense last couple of games. Missed tackles here. There goes Walker flying by, and then it's a good effort by Thomas to pull away from Kendall Reyes. They pick up another Dolphin first down. That's the 7th Dolphin with a reception here in the first half.
First catch of the day for Thomas. 11 first downs in this first half for Miami. It's a pitch. Thomas takes the right angle to the outside for a 5-yard gain. Cordero Law with a stop.
Well, check out the throwing motion for both Phillip Rivers and Ryan Tannehill. Look at the eyes first. They both get big as they see their target break into the open. Rivers has always been off the shoulder. Tannehill, younger, can get the ball up a bit higher. Great start for Tannehill.
Rivers intercepted, 7 of 11, 91 yards. San Diego's been shut out so far. More of Daniel Thomas. This time San Diego was ready for it. They limit him to a gain of 1. Liuget combining on the inside. Dwight Freeney, the veteran, now in his 13th year. He's had a number of quarterback pressures this season, but it's only translated to 2 sacks.
Yeah, that's the problem. He just has 2 sacks. Jared Johnson, the other outside linebacker, with 1 sack. In fact, the Chargers have 15 sacks, but 13 of them have come from different players. Don't have the dominant edge rusher that they need, as so many teams seem to have now in the NFL.
3rd and 4 for the Dolphins. Working out of the gun. Gibson, the motion man. Tannehill converts again. Ryan Hartline on the receiving end of an 8-yard pass from Tannehill. Brandon Flowers in coverage.
That sure hands of Tannehill. Look at him reach behind for that ball. Slightly thrown to the back shoulder, but sure hands of Hartline. Another catch for him.
Yeah, we asked Hartline about this new offense. He said, look, the running game is better. The play-action game has improved. The quarterback has been upright, not as many sacks given up. The foundation is strong. They just haven't had a lot of the big explosion plays that they've had in the past. Jarvis Landry, a bobble that could have been a disaster for Landry, but he secures it for a 3-yard gain.
Jared Johnson pops him from behind. Ball jumped out of his hands right in front of his face where he could grab the ball. But, you know, you talk about the quarterback being upright. Tannehill was sacked 56 times last year. And so far this season, he's only gone down 17.
It's also the pace that brought that Philadelphia philosophy.
Well, and all the problems they had in that offensive line last year. What a disaster that was.
2nd and 7 here for Miami. Play fake. Tannehill steps up. Gets away. Nice fake. Tannehill downfield. Incomplete. Mike Wallace against Sharice Wright could not win the battle.
Tremendous job of getting away from Ricardo Matthews, number 90 here. Watch as he just gives him the old, that's the okey doke, I believe. If he could have set his feet on this play, he might have been able to get a better ball to Wallace. Wallace had to slow down, and by that time, Sharice Wright comes in with the early contact.
So now it's 3rd and 7. Tannehill is 4 of 4 on 3rd down. They'll use a timeout. Play clock was down to 2. 3:55 mark of this 2nd quarter. Miami pitching the shutout so far.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL, and by Ameriprise Financial. More within reach.
Well, Dan, Hollywood, Florida, north of Miami.
Beautiful. What a day.
You enjoyed the sunshine this weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, kind of. All the preparation I was doing in my room.
That's right. You lock yourself in your room.
Your cave.
3rd and 7. After the timeout, flags come down and movement.
False start. Offense number 42. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's Charles Clay. But what about the adjustment to the new offense for Tannehill in particular? All he knew was Mike Sherman, his college coach, and then he was his offensive coordinator for 2 years.
Well, the good part is that this running game fits him perfectly because of the read option. The passing game has been an adjustment because of the numbering system is different, and that does take a while to get used to. But he's a bright guy. There's no question about that. And he's improving every week and having a great first half.
Joe Philbin has talked about Laser being a good teacher and an excellent communicator. Tannehill threads the needle to Mike Wallace. Another 3rd down conversion, and that was a bullet from Ryan Tannehill.
And this is how you know you've got an NFL arm. When you can squeeze one into a zone defense on a 3rd and long between defenders here. Linebacker coming over late, Donald Butler, but that is a fastball from Tannehill, and Wallace with his speed will take it inside the 10, 38 yards on the play.
That's your blimp look, Dan.
Is that, we got a blimp?
Yeah, midlife.
Man, that's cool.
1st and goal for Miami. Tannehill, dump off. Daniel Thomas. Butler lost his helmet on the play. They bring him down just short of the 5-yard line. Ryan Tannehill, 16 of 19, 182 yards, and a touchdown. So far in the red zone, Miami 2 touchdowns and a field goal. This is 2nd and goal for the Dolphins. From the gun, Thomas runs into a brick wall. Trying to run in between the tackles, and a shove at the end of the play. It's a loss of 1.
That's the same play that they scored on earlier with Lamar Miller going in. Chargers adjusting. Gatch Carr getting involved in the play.
And Miami's going to let this run down to the 2-minute warning. It's been all Dolphins. 17-0 lead. Miami can put more points on the board when we come back. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, the latest NFL scores and highlights, as well as a preview of Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. This is a Miami offense that didn't have a first down for the first 26 minutes of the game last week against Jacksonville. prolific in this first half. 13 first downs and trying to put some more points on the board here. 10th play of the drive. 3rd and goal for Miami. Tannehill, tip ball, incomplete. He was trying to hit Charles Clay. And the field goal unit will come on for the Dolphins.
Great effort up front by the Chargers here. You can see Tannehill, he thinks he's got something going there, but Corey Liuget with his left hand leaning in as he's being blocked by Samson Satelli. That's a heck of a play.
Liuget out of Hialeah High School in Miami. Last year had 80 people here in the stands for this game. Less this year. 25-yard attempt is good for Sturgis. 20-0 cushion for Miami, late stages of the second quarter. First 4 possessions for the Dolphins. 10-play drive, 8-play drive, a 5-play drive, an 11-play drive. And all of that translates into a 20-0 lead at home against the San Diego Chargers.
And don't forget, the Dolphins won the toss, deferred, so San Diego went on offense first. Had a good opening drive, but couldn't convert on 4th and short. And the Dolphins will receive the second half opening kickoff. So it's imperative that Rivers and company get something done here with a couple of 3 timeouts to work with.
Caleb Sturgis kicks it off. Chris Davis will take a knee, and San Diego will have it at the 20-yard line. I want to offer our condolences to Miami head coach Joe Philbin. His father Paul passed away on Friday night at the age of 93. We talked to Coach Philbin. He said he was able to get back to Massachusetts. All 6 of Paul's kids were there. He was a World War II veteran, and Joe said very close-knit family. Came back to South Florida to coach his team here today against the Chargers.
Paul had 93 great years.
San Diego has 3 timeouts to work with. Donald Brown is in. And the Chargers just looking for something to wake up this offense. Over the middle to Antonio Gates. 9-yard pickup. Jelani Jenkins there defensively. Oh, good spot. Enough for a first down. They'll move the chains to the 30.
Yeah, positive play on first down. Some type of momentum builder, hopefully, for San Diego.
From the gun, Rivers lofts one. Incomplete. Eddie Royal trying to reposition himself against Jimmy Wilson. It's 2nd and 10 for San Diego. 1:28 left in this first half.
It looked like Rivers got hit as he was trying to get that ball out to Eddie Royal, who had his man beat on the corner route, but the contact on Rivers is enough to make this ball, just pushed by the side by King Dunlap as he was protecting on Olivier Vernon.
San Diego has been limited to 112 yards of offense. 2nd and 10. Rivers in some trouble. Gets rid of it to Donald Brown. Brown banged down as he crossed the 35. Grimes and Misi there defensively. It's a 6-yard pickup.
I don't think anybody does this better than Rivers, knowing where everybody is on the field. At the last instant gets the ball out to Brown, and Brown gets double teamed there. Kouamisi with the exclamation hit.
San Diego uses the timeout. Remember, Brown was out after suffering a concussion on October the 5th against the Jets. He missed the last 3 games. Ryan Matthews has appeared in just 2 games. He's been out with a knee injury since September the 14th game against Seattle, hoping to return November 16th.
The Charger offense, the running attack has just been beat up by those injuries you talked about, Ian. So far today, Brandon Oliver 6 carries for 5 yards. Ronnie Brown 1 for 5. Rivers has 1 carry for 3, and Donald Brown 1 carry for 1.
Running game is ranked 30th in the NFL, just under 86 yards per game. 3rd and 4 here for San Diego. 1:16 left in the second quarter. Here comes the rush. Nobody to throw to. Cameron Wake leading that charge for Miami.
Yeah, it's a 5-man rush. They bring up the middle. Jelani Jenkins on a delayed blitz, but look at Wake at the bottom of the screen go right around Fluker. And Rivers just fighting for his life back here. His outlet receiver is Ronnie Brown, but Wake wrecked that play.
So this is not what San Diego had planned. Trying to use this clock and move it down the field. Instead, Miami's going to get the football back with some time to work with and 2 timeouts. Cypher's punting to Landry. It'll bounce and touched at the 24 after the 38-yard punt. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Latest NFL scores and highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. So 1:03 on the clock, a 20-0 lead for Miami. Ryan Tannehill, 16 of 20, 182 yards, and a touchdown.
And of the 52 yards rushing the Dolphins have in the first half, he's got half of them.
Lamar Miller is back in. He is set up as a receiver. Play is in the slot. It's a 5-receiver set for Tannehill. Looks, throws, incomplete. Mike Wallace, the intended target. An even minute to play in this first half.
Has another good fastball from Tannehill. Wallace, after the ball hits the ground, slaps his hands together, and that tells you he thinks he should have caught it.
Phillip Rivers, 9 of 15 for 107 yards and an interception.
Let's go, BA. Get down. Set. Lady.
Miller single setback. Give it to Miller. Lamar Miller accelerating across the 35 for a 12-yard burst. Hit by Gilchrist. Down to 44 seconds left. Miami still has 2 timeouts. Tannehill out of the pocket, looking downfield, throws to Hartline. Clean catch for Hartline. He steps out of bounds after the 8-yard gain. And the clock stops with 34 seconds remaining.
Yeah, good job by Hartline coming back to his quarterback along the sidelines. Tannehill, as he got out of the pocket, put the ball right on number 82, who smartly stepped out of bounds, saving that second timeout.
So a 2nd and 2 now for Miami. Trying to get Caleb Sturgis into field goal range. Has a career long of 54. Tannehill. His receiver fell, Landry. Ball was a little high. Landry's 5'11". And now it's 3rd and 2 for the Dolphins. So trying to get to the 36-yard line of San Diego to put Sturgis in the vicinity. Still need 22 more yards. This is a 3rd and 2 for Miami. 254 yards of offense.
Mostly through the air.
190 for Tannehill. 3rd and 2. Tannehill fires. It's caught by Gibson into San Diego territory. Ryan Tannehill on time. Big hookup for 19 yards.
And a great adjustment to this ball by Gibson. It's in front of Flowers there. Goes up high to pull this one in. And now they're close to getting Sturgis in that field goal range. That's a tough catch there. 8th different receiver now that Tannehill has been able to complete a pass to.
What a half Tannehill has put together. 208 yards through the air and a touchdown. And they've just controlled the action. First half against Jacksonville last week, this offense couldn't do anything. 56 yards. They've got 272 in the first half against San Diego. Line of scrimmage is now the 38. Miami still has 1 timeout to work with. Shotgun for Tannehill. Right now they're looking at a 56-yard attempt. Tannehill pulls the trigger. Incomplete. Hartline in the area. Couldn't break free.
Well, he just didn't have enough time to give Hartline a chance down here. Good pass rush. Ricardo Matthews coming right up the middle on Tannehill, but they had trips to the wide side of the field, just Hartline on this single side, and the Chargers, good coverage, good pressure, something they have got to improve on in this ball game. Extra offensive lineman Nate Garner checks in for Miami. Still needs 6 to 8 yards to give Sturgis a clean shot. 20 seconds left. Tannehill, a deep drop, steps up. Tannehill will run it. Tannehill, oh, he loses the ball. Miami recovers Satelli, the veteran. 9 seconds left. Chris Davis knocking it free after the 13-yard run. And the Dolphins barely get the timeout called in time to bring out the field goal team in Sturgis. But Davis with a good hit there on the right arm of Tannehill. But how about the hustle getting down the field? Not only is Satelli there, but Pouncey is there as well. They're going to be the first players on this ball. Satelli will get credit. Yeah, that's a big storyline for the Miami Dolphins. The fact that Satelli stepped in for Pouncey as he was recovering from hip surgery and then kept the job. Pouncey was a Pro Bowl center last year. He's playing right guard for the Miami Dolphins. The unselfishness of Pouncey and the veteran savvy of Satelli to step in and play at a high level. Well, and it's an example of, you know, being unselfish, absolutely, but also getting the best 5 offensive linemen on the field at one time. Dolphins are fortunate that today Dallas Thomas was able to fill in for Darren College. But, you know, after what they went through last year on the offensive line, you can see that this is a very solid unit that's protecting Tannehill today. Miami called the timeout with 2 seconds left in the first half, and they set up Sturgis for a 45-yard attempt. And they'll get the ball to start the second half. Sturgis pushes it wide to the right. The Dolphins come up empty at the end of the first half. A 20-0 lead at the break for Miami as we go downstairs to Jenny Dell.
Coach, one of the better first half this team has put together. What do you say to the players when they're playing this well? Well,
we got 30 more minutes. I mean, it's a good start. I thought all 3 phases played relatively well, and we just got to keep it up and play better in the second half.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, Jenny, end of the first half in South Florida. The Dolphins on top of the Chargers. We'll come back. The Verizon Halftime Report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Has it picked off by Rashad Jones. Miller steamrolls into the end zone. Miami doing it through the air and on the ground. NFL on CBS from South Florida, 20-0. The Dolphins leading the Chargers, getting you ready for the start of the second half. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Jenny Dell joining us as well. Well, for Miami, you can't do it much better than what they did in that first half. Ryan Tannehill looked locked in. San Diego never able to build any kind of rhythm offensively as we get ready for this third quarter. Well, and it's defensively. The Chargers will start in the second half, and they've got to get back to just tackling and getting pressure on Tannehill. They've done a pretty good job of holding down the rushing attack, but no pressure on Tannehill at all. That's why he's having such an outstanding first half. How about on the flip side, Phillip Rivers in the San Diego offense? It's taken a while for this team to show a pulse on that side of the ball. Well, in the pulse, there's no running attack. They came in as the 30th ranked rushing team in the NFL, and it's not gotten any better today. That has caused a lot of pressure on Rivers and the Dolphin defense with Cameron Wake and Olivier Vernon providing the edge pressure. Chargers have got to be able to run the ball here in the second half. San Diego limited to 118 yards of offense, 14 on the ground in the first half. And now Nick Novak will kick it off to Jarvis Landry. Landry comes in, averaging 31.3 yards per return with a long of 74. Dolphins have the 20-0 lead, and they get the football first to start this second half. Returnable for Landry, 4 yards deep in the end zone. Finds a lane, hurdles, and goes down short of the 30-yard line, and we send it downstairs to Jenny Dell.
Well, I just spoke with Coach McCoy and asked him, what did he say to this team to rally them when they're down by 20? He said, I told them to all look themselves in the mirror and get it together. They said it's easy. He needs to figure out how to convert third downs, give Phillip Rivers more time in the pocket, and really needs to slow down Miami's pass rush. They said he needs to do a better job on the edge, guys.
Well, Jenny, they're trying to avoid a third straight loss. This after a 5-game winning streak, currently in second place in the AFC West behind the Denver Broncos. Fake the handoff to Miller. Tannehill looks, waits, and throws in stride to Hartline. First down for Miami. Halftime numbers, it's all Dolphins. Time of possession, over 18 minutes in that first half. A couple of long drives for Miami. San Diego had an extended drive to open up the game, but no points. Went for it on 4th and 1, and Oliver was stuffed, electing not to go for the field goal. Hartline, his 4th catch. He's got 40 yards. Miller thrown down by Legion. Miller could not get ahead of steam.
A great job by Legion getting across the line of scrimmage into the backfield of the Dolphins. Watch number 94 here as he slips the block of Dallas Thomas. And Lamar Miller pays for that missed block. 7-yard loss on that play. That's the type of play defensively the Chargers have to build upon.
8 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown for Miller. 2nd and 17 for the Dolphins. Just underway in this second half. Tannehill to throw it. Through the pocket. And connects with Hartline. Out near midfield for 10 yards on the hookup.
Not only did he have a lot of time to throw, he had a lane to step up and have a clear vision to Hartline on the crossing route. Watch as Tannehill looking down the field, now sees the opening here. In years past, he might have run with that ball, but his maturity showing that he's willing to wait for his receiver to get open.
It's a 4-receiver set on 3rd and 7. Miami has been terrific on 3rd down conversions. They bring the rush. Tannehill with a flag thrown. Tannehill brought down by Butler. Penalty marker at the 43-yard line. Did he get him on the face mask?
Use of the hands to the face, number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So even when San Diego does something right defensively, something bad happens.
Here's 94 on the left side of the screen. You can see him bend back the face mask of Dallas Thomas right there. That left hand, good call by the officials, and totally unnecessary by Legion. That pass pressure was getting to Tannehill. In fact, he was sacked on the play, but it's another critical error by San Diego that's given the Dolphins life.
And another first down, 18 of them for Miami, now in San Diego territory at the 46. Fake the handoff. Tannehill running. Tannehill, big chunk of yards as he slides down at the 35. 11 yards for Ryan Tannehill. Where does he get the skill from? Well, he's always had it. Go back to his high school days. Big Spring High School in Big Spring, Texas. He's dominating. As a junior, he rushed for 822 yards. As a senior, ran for 617 despite missing 2 games and then taking his talents to Texas A&M.
And he's the leading rusher today for the Dolphins. 4 carries for 48 yards. Good fake there to Miller, and he had blockers out in front like a quarterback sweep almost.
79 yards rushing for Miami. Little trickery here from Wallace. He's going to throw it. Mike Wallace, deep ball. Nobody home. Brian Hartline, the intended receiver. That pass was out of bounds.
And wisely thrown out of bounds, I believe, by Wallace, because Hartline had nothing down the sidelines. In fact, Wallace might have been okay just taking off trying to get something on the ground here, but he saw the coverage by Flowers, then Weddle coming over later.
It was nearly complete to the photographer. Very close. That's the first pass that's been thrown by Miami other than Ryan Tannehill this season.
And it may be a while before they throw another one.
You don't think they're going to break that one out of the playbook? Give it to Miller. Lamar Miller exploding across the 25. Good block from Thomas up front for a 14-yard pickup. And a new set of downs for Miami to work with.
And Pouncey gets a good block as well. Again, it's the read option. Satelli gets out. The Chargers are just so far off the line of scrimmage that by the time that they close on Miller, it's 10 yards down the field.
9 carries, 40 yards for Miller, and a 1st and 10 at the 21. First possession of this third quarter, Miami already with a 20-0 lead against San Diego. Working out of the gun, Tannehill. Looking, end zone, incomplete. Charles Clay got his hands on it, but could not haul it in.
You know, this ball kind of fluttered a little bit on Tannehill, and when it does that, it's going to sail a little bit too far. You can see that Clay thinking he's running out of room here. And that ball, that's just 4 inches too far, or Clay brings that in for another touchdown.
He was working against the linebacker, Reggie Walker. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins. It's 329 yards of offense for Miami. 8th play of the drive for the Dolphins. Tannehill, pump. Tannehill throwing on the move. Touchdown! Ryan Tannehill creating as he hooks up with Rashard Matthews. It is a rout in South Florida.
And they ought to name this Ryan Tannehill Day for the afternoon he's having so far. Again, he's showing the patience and maturity of an NFL quarterback. Seeing his receiver down the field, Tannehill might have been able to run that one in himself. Instead, he finds his 9th different receiver of the day. Rashard Matthews had a touchdown last week against Jacksonville, and another one here today.
Lopsided, 27-0, Miami. Tannehill has had open receivers all day long. Great game plan from Bill Lazor and the Dolphins coaching staff. Up big. One of the best days of Ryan Tannehill's NFL career. Miami, first possession of second halves. They've been impressive. 34 points. That's the most in the NFL. And the Dolphins with a 27-0 lead over San Diego. Sturgis kicks it off for Miami. Chris Davis will return it. Tripped up at the 15-yard line. San Diego is averaging a league worst 16 yards per kickoff return. Some pushing and shoving at the end of the play. They get Damian Williams, the rookie, out of there. And no flags thrown. 10:58 to go in the third. San Diego still looking to get on the board on the road.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Progressive. Comparing rates to help you save. Now that's Progressive.
Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by MetLife. Doesn't matter what view you've had. It's been dominated by the Dolphins. 27-0 over San Diego. 10:58 to play in the third. They have already cracked 350 yards of offense. Keenan Allen is drilled to Brent Grimes with a big stick. Loss of 1.
Let's go back to the touchdown. This is how bad it's getting for San Diego in the secondary. Rashard Matthews is going to be on a deep crossing route because of Tannehill scrambling out of the pocket here. Both Chris Davis and Eric Weddle collide, and Matthews will glide into the end zone. 6th catch of the year, 2nd touchdown reception for Matthews.
2nd and 11 now for San Diego. Rivers thrown. Deep ball. Should have been picked off. Rashad Jones was one of 3 Dolphins in the area. NFL Today update. Let's head to New York. JB and Boomer.
Boomer has a keen interest in this one.
I do. Here's my fantasy running back for the day. Jeremy Hill, the rookie out of LSU, goes in for the touchdown. Bengals take a 19-3 lead over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you, JB, for listening.
That I do. Back to Iron Eagle.
And don't forget, Cincinnati will be in action Thursday Night Football against Cleveland, divisional matchup on the NFL Network. 3rd and 11 for San Diego. They have just 5 first downs on the day. Play clock is down to 1. Rivers with a deep drop. Excellent grab by Floyd. First down, Chargers. Out across the 30-yard line. That's 18 yards.
Well, 6'5" and long arms and strong hands. Rivers put it the only place that Floyd could get to it. Important connection that time.
San Diego moving quickly here. They haven't been able to establish the run, and Brandon Oliver just got stamped. Rashad Jones has been all over the field for this Miami D.
Yeah, he made the play in the first quarter when he stopped Oliver on a 4th and short. Also had an interception. And again, here he is crowding the line of scrimmage. With the help of Randy Starks. Brings down Oliver.
This is the number 17 defense in the NFL. 2nd and 10. Rivers. Hit as he throws too high. Trying to hit Gates.
Well, Gates so good at just gliding into his routes. Good sharp cut there. But that pressure and getting hit as he releases it. Again, he's getting hit by his own man, being pushed back into the quarterback. Offensive line giving up too much ground on the pass protection.
Just 2 catches for 18 yards for Antonio Gates here today. This is a 3rd and 10 for San Diego. Dime package for Miami. Rivers gets rid of it. Picked off by Grimes. Brent Grimes looking for an opening. Caught from behind. Rivers intercepted for the 2nd time today, and Grimes has another after getting a pick last week in the win over Jacksonville.
Well, it's just a good job of Grimes cutting underneath the receiver that time. Allen and then getting the ball and down the sidelines, but Grimes playing at a Pro Bowl level. Chargers talked about, Rivers talked about it, so did Mike McCoy, about how great Brent Grimes has been playing this year, not getting the amount of recognition, but he'll get recognition from more than just Mike McCoy after a play like that.
This has been a rough day for Rivers, rough day for the Chargers overall. Rivers is 11 of 20 for 124 yards and 2 picks. 9:05 to go in the 3rd. Handoff, Thomas. He brings Jarrett Johnson with him for 5 yards.
I think this style of offense not only fits Lamar Miller in the running game, but also Daniel Thomas, the former number 2 pick back in 2011. He's having an outstanding year. And what a luxury the Dolphins have with Miller and Thomas, and we've seen Damian Williams as well today.
Sean Lismore left the game earlier for San Diego. They go empty here on a 2nd and 5. Tannehill. Out along the sideline by Clay. And he's out of bounds. Now for a first down, it'll be 1st and goal for the Dolphins.
That's 4 catches now for Charles Clay and 54 yards. That early touchdown.
2 tight ends for Miami. Yeah, the Finns have been up all day. 1st and goal for the Dolphins. Hand it off. Thomas. That's wrapped up as he keeps on battling for yards on the inside. It's a 3-yard gain. They'll mark him down at the 5.
You see that a lot in the NFL nowadays, with a running back in a crowd just trying to stay on his feet so he can allow his offensive lineman to help push him farther down the field. We've seen a number of touchdowns that way. And that's what Thomas was trying to do that time.
Miami has lived in San Diego territory all afternoon. They're over 100 yards rushing. Second and goal for the Dolphins. Take the handoff, Tannehill. Touchdown! No, Clay lost it right at the goal line. Charles Clay had all the momentum to carry him in. Did he break the plane, or is it incomplete?
Pass.
Didn't have it cleanly.
Well, let's check it out. There's 2 or 3 steps. I think that is a reception. Ball is ripped out here. It's by Cavell Connor. Now, did Clay break the plane before Connor can pull the ball out?
He did not.
He did not. That is a reception. That ball should be out of bounds at about the 1-yard line.
So now it's 3rd and goal. Tannehill up top. Wallace unable to haul it in.
And as a catch, you got to go up with 2 hands on that. It was a perfectly delivered ball by Tannehill. Wallace, for some reason, only decides to put his right hand up to catch this ball. Had plenty of room to get his feet in. Over the top of Sharice Wright, but the one hand doesn't work.
So Miami has to settle for a short field goal try of 23 yards. Caleb Sturgis missed one at the end of the first half. He knocks this one through for a 30-0 lead. Just over 7 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. With NFL Mobile, stream live local Sunday afternoon primetime games at NFL Red Zone right on your mobile device. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile. Antonio Gates, Jenny Dell reporting that they were checking on the upper right ankle area of Gates. He's been held at 2 catches, 18 yards. No running attack whatsoever for San Diego. Oliver, 5 yards rushing. Ronnie Brown, 5 yards rushing. Gates moving gingerly along the San Diego sideline. Caleb Sturgis will kick it off after giving Miami a 30-0 lead. Davis is going to take this one out 6 yards deep in the end zone. Written down at the 25. 6:59 to play in the 3rd. San Diego down big.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by 2 for $20 fan favorites, only at Applebee's. And by TD Ameritrade.
We took the Fouts yacht out for a 3-hour tour.
That's right, Gilligan.
Professor, please. On first down for San Diego, Rivers throws to the outside. He hooks up with Malcolm Floyd. And it's a first down near the 40-yard line.
Been a great afternoon defensively for the Dolphins, especially in the secondary. Rashad Jones stops Oliver on 4th down, then picks off Rivers. Good play there by Grimes, and Grimes gets an interception. He got one last year on Rivers here in Miami as well.
2 takeaways for Miami, 2 field goals off of those turnovers. Rivers trying to set up the deep ball, the delayed rush, and he is devoured by Earl Mitchell. Dolphins have been raving about the addition of Mitchell coming over from Houston. Professionalism and a playmaker on the inside of that defensive line.
Well, he just never gives up. They talk about his motor. That's a pretty good example of it, as Chris Watt was doing a pretty good job with him. But that's Big Earl's first sack of the season and a loss of 8 yards for Rivers.
Cameron Wake said what Mitchell does is so important to their success defensively, but it's not celebrated. He's been a perfect fit for this Miami D, and they've had nearly a perfect game. Second and 18. Rivers. A tie-up. Grimes. He's got it. His second interception. Keenan Allen, the intended receiver.
Yeah, at one point this looked like a simultaneous catch, which would have gone to Allen. But Grimes, as they're falling to the ground, is going to pull the ball away from Allen.
Miami continues to come up big defensively. Kevin Coyle, in his third year as the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, spent 11 years with Cincinnati, learned a lot under Mike Zimmer. He was coordinating the defense for the Bengals. Play action, off the boot. Tannehill buys enough time to hit Charles Clay. He's inching closer to 300 yards on the day, Dan. Reggie Walker banged up on the play.
It's been a career day for Ryan Tannehill. Like we talked about earlier, his pocket presence has been outstanding. 22 of 32 on the afternoon. And, of course, the running threat is their leading rusher with 48 yards. But I'm more impressed with that play there because he had a chance to run with the ball. Could have picked up good yardage, maybe got in the end zone. But he gave his receiver a chance to get open and score.
Under 5 minutes to go in the third. Miami 30, San Diego nothing. Give it to Miller. Miller bangs his way out near midfield. Block from Jawan James, the rookie first-round pick out of Tennessee. Walker now on the sideline being checked on by the San Diego training staff. 8-yard gain for Miller.
And just beyond the Charger bench, warming up, is Kellen Clemens. Doesn't have his helmet on just yet, but we wouldn't be doing this unless he was thinking about coming in the game.
Second and 2 here for Miami. Toss it to Miller. And zigzags his way to the 49 for a gain of 1. Jared Johnson in on that stop. And we talked to Jared Johnson and Eric Weddle. They both stressed how important this game was for San Diego in the big picture, knowing that a win here going into the bye just changes the direction of the team. A chance to go to 6-3 with a long rest. Miller down on that play. For Miami, they're checking on him. We'll step aside with 3:48 to go in the third. So it's Daniel Thomas now in for the Dolphins, and he gets hit immediately by Legit on a 3rd and 1. Fair catch called for. Rich Ornberger is now questionable with a rib injury, so Chris Watt is in. The rookie out of Notre Dame is in center. That's a 2-yard gain. Rivers, who's been held to 138 yards passing and 3 interceptions. Drop ball. Rivers hit as he throws. Ball is loose, and Miami jumps on it before he got into the throwing motion.
Yeah, and the ball went forward because Vernon hit it with his right hand.
On first down, Tannehill underneath. Landry. Oh, the effort by Landry. Did he get the pylon?
After review, the runner was inbounds with control of the ball. It is a touchdown. Miami is not charged a timeout.
Jarvis Landry. And by far the best offensive showing so far this year. It just happens to come at the midway point for Miami. And Chris Davis waiting for it for San Diego. Over his head. Chargers will have it at the 20. For the San Diego Chargers, Kellen Clemens, the 9-year veteran from Oregon, is in, replacing Phillip Rivers at the 2-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Clemens will hit Gates in stride. He's back in there, so Antonio Gates, who possibly could have seen this coming. Phillip Rivers out of the game with his team down 37-0. 1 minute to go in the 3rd. Clemens knocked away. Oh, Clemens just got crushed, showing off the speed. Flag comes down with 15 seconds to go in the third.
False start. Offense, number 34. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
You know, it's funny. We talked to Cameron Wake, asked him about the state of the team. He said consistency has been the issue. He said the Dolphins are yet to play a complete game. I think his opinion will change after today.
Yep. This is about as complete as you can get.
Landry with a flag down.
There are fouls against both teams on the play. During the kick, holding receiving team number 22. That penalty is enforced from the end of the kick, 10 yards. There was also unsportsmanlike conduct for contacting an official, number 16 of the kicking team. That 15-yard penalty is enforced, and number 16 is ejected.
That's Shea Ajeratutu. We'll return to South Florida after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Look at some numbers around the league. Drew Brees, that performance on Thursday night, 297 yards. Tannehill, what an effort. 3 touchdowns, 288 yards. Hoyer's been picked off twice, as has Mike Glennon. Dalton has a touchdown. Mark Ingram goes for 2 touchdowns in that Thursday night win over Carolina. LaShawn McCoy trying to get things going. Jeremy Maclin a big day. DeAndre Hopkins, we've had a chance to see his talent in person this year with the Houston Texans and his incredible one-handed catches. Daniel Thomas gets the call, and Matt Moore is in at quarterback for Miami. 8-year veteran. You've got Oregon on one side with San Diego, the backup quarterback, and Oregon State on the other with Matt Moore, the former Carolina Panther.
Yeah, this is a mini civil war, as they call it in Oregon when the Ducks and Beavers get together. Go Ducks.
Nate Garner is now in. I figured you'd throw that in there at some point. Just had that Pat Summerall delay.
She wrote.
Yeah. 2nd and 6. Moore trying to set up the deep ball. Hit as he throws, underthrown, and almost intercepted. Mike Wallace, the intended target. Darryl Stuckey back there defensively for San Diego.
Yeah, it may have been the best defensive play of the game by Wallace, but before that, watch Matt Moore. He's going to get drilled here right in the midsection. And that ball got all the way to Stuckey's face mask.
So the change on offensive line, Jawan James is now in at left tackle. Brandon Albert is out. Nate Garner is in at right tackle. And it's a 3rd and 6 for Miami. Moore throws. Low throw. Wallace comes out of there with it. And it is enough. 7-yard gain. They move the chains. Chris Davis defensively for San Diego.
Well, Matt Moore's got all his weapons in there. Mike Wallace and Brian Hartline. Hartline's coming out now, but Jarvis Landry in there as well. So Matt Moore is a full complement of his starting receivers.
So line of scrimmage is now the 41-yard line. 408 total yards of offense for the Dolphins. Thomas hit at the line of scrimmage by Butler. NFL Today update. Let's go to JB and Boomer.
Houston within 3.
All right, how about Ryan Fitzpatrick right here? 7 yards to DeAndre Hopkins, 24-21 Eagles. This comes after DeAndre Hopkins recovered a D'Amico Ryans fumble after Ryan Fitzpatrick interception. A lot happened in there. 24-21 Eagles over the... Who are they playing, JB?
All right,
Texans.
it's absolutely, Boom, you got it. And we'll go back to our Eagle, Iron Eagle.
You got a lot of stuff going on in New York. A lot of things flying around, tapes, highlights. Daniel Thomas takes a shot from catch guard. -7 on that play. And for San Diego, it's going to be a long flight back to the West Coast and then a bye. Then home for Oakland on November the 16th.
And Chargers hoping that with that bye, they'll get some much needed reinforcements back, including Running back Ryan Matthews, who was hurt in the second game of the season with a sprained knee.
Just the way the schedule worked out, the Thursday night game, and then followed by a Sunday game and a bye. They're going to have one game in 23 days. Deep ball. And it's too far for Wallace. Mike Wallace is a burner, but couldn't catch up to that one. Defended by Sharice Wright. 12-12 to go in the fourth. Ryan Tannehill gets to put the baseball cap on early as Joe Philbin decides to send in Matt Moore to run the Miami offense with the 37-0 lead. Keenan Allen, the return man. Punt from Fields. For a catch at the 14. Just over 12 minutes to play. Sun Life Stadium. To 7, but then Dan Fouts, 433 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rolf Benirschke, a 29-yard field goal to win it. Epic. 41-38 in overtime. Kellen Winslow had to be helped off the field. On first down, Donald Brown gets the carry, and he is tripped up across the 20. All right, Dan, give me one thing that nobody knows about that incredible game.
We needed to get the ball back. We were down 38-31, and Louis Kelcher ripped the ball out of Andre Franklin. We recovered and went down and scored that. Everybody thinks about the great offensive attack we had that day, but if it wasn't for Big Louis making that play, we would not have won that game.
You're giving love to the defense. Still, you're a team guy all these years later, sharing the wealth.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I kept most of my wealth.
Well, you kept the majority.
I did buy them a beer or two.
The Chargers have lost 7 straight at Miami since that game. That includes a pair of playoff losses.
Hey, I want to go Buffalo!
How was that flight back?
You had to bring up the playoff losses?
Well, no, I'm just
the next year didn't
giving
go
facts.
so well. I had a day like Philip Rivers has had today.
Donald Brown after the penalty brings it to the 24-yard line. All right, a little where are they now? The Epic in Miami. Kellen Winslow is the AD at Florida A&M. Tony Nathan, he's a bailiff in Miami. And Rolf Benirschke, entrepreneur / game show host. He had that stint hosting Wheel of Fortune.
And one of the great kickers in Charger history. And I'm sure glad he made that last field goal, too. That was a tense moment. He had missed one earlier. We had blocked 2 of Uwe von Schaman field goals. Just a tremendous effort by both teams. But it's that desperation effort that you get in a playoff game, especially an overtime game like that one.
One of many highlights in the Hall of Fame career of Dan Fouts. Donald Brown across the 25-yard line for a gain of 3. But that video is indelible of Kellen Winslow being helped off the field.
And being helped off the field by our other tight end, Eric Sievers, and our left tackle, Billy Shields, who also were very tired.
Everybody was tired. They were kind of leaning on each other. Yeah, there it is.
There's Billy on the left and Eric on the right, and the great Winslow in the middle. What an effort. 13 catches that evening for Kellen.
Donald Brown works it across the 30. There was a terrific video piece on the NFL Today. And the great Don Criqui on the call with the play-by-play that day.
And his partner, John Brody.
That's right, a friend of yours, buddy of yours.
Brody, the great quarterback for the 49ers. Yeah, it's great that you were showing this type of highlights when it's a blowout like this and nobody's watching.
But, oh, you're saying we should have rolled this in the first quarter?
Well,
that's your point?
When we still had an audience.
Boy, you're producing now, aren't you? Not just the analyst.
I'll get the tape.
Producer Mark Wolf, director Bob Fishman, and the rest of our crew. 2nd and 7. Brandon Oliver. Finally, San Diego's getting some runs, but when they needed them, they could not establish the ground game. Johnny Troutman with a block up front. Rivers keeping the helmet on.
You get in a situation like this, and it almost becomes like a Pro Bowl game where nobody is going to go to the ground. I mean, like on that play there, they just held Oliver up until the officials came in and called it dead.
All right. Got a banana?
Happy Halloween.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new LG G3, the world's first smartphone with laser autofocus. New York Life Insurance Company. And by the all-new 2015 Acura TLX. It's that kind of thrill.
Back in the Sunshine State here in Florida. It's been a celebration in Miami. The way the Dolphins have performed today, 37-0 lead over the San Diego Chargers. 30th all-time meeting between these two teams. Dolphins lead the all-time series with a margin of 15-14. Brandon Oliver brought down immediately, tried to get outside. Starks and Earl Mitchell over there defensively. Well, the San Diego Chargers remaining scheduled. They've got the bye, and then Oakland, St. Louis, and then it gets really interesting for the Chargers beginning in late November.
Yeah, especially at the end of the season when you have to go to San Francisco and then to Kansas City. And Kansas City is a team that started the Chargers on this 3-game losing streak by winning in San Diego.
DJ Fluker is out of the game now. Willie Smith is in. On a pitch to Oliver. Pushed out of bounds. Hit on the play by Kelvin Shepard. A report from the San Diego sideline is Philip Rivers has a hand injury, return questionable, but there's no reason to return.
Now he'll benefit from the bye week, as will many of the beat-up Chargers.
Down to 7:15 and counting left in this fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 13 for San Diego. Kellen Clemens is in at quarterback. Rich Ohrnberger dealing with a rib injury. So Chris Watt, the 3rd-round pick out of Notre Dame, has played at center, replacing Ohrnberger.
Yeah, it'd be the 4th different center that Chargers have used this year.
Charge timeout. San Diego, they're first. It will be 30 seconds.
Timeout Chargers. Week 9 continues later today on CBS, and for some of you on Fox. Then tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. So for San Diego, this will be the 3rd consecutive loss, 3rd straight win for Miami. Entering action, Dan, 11 teams in the AFC over the 500 mark, 1 at 500, Houston. So it just shows you the kind of race potentially we're going to see in the AFC for the playoffs.
And what a great game coming up too in New England with Manning and Brady going head-to-head.
Last shutout for Miami, 2006 against New England. Clemens throwing on 3rd and 13. Lunging attempt by Allen. It's incomplete. San Diego will punt it with 6:53 to play.
Yeah, thinking about Manning and Brady and what's going to be happening there in New England, I hope that the weather isn't so bad that it affects the passing game, because talk about two of the hottest quarterbacks. Brady really bouncing back after earlier in the year. People saying, well, maybe he's lost his fastball, and well, that was a mistake by a lot of people.
Last time that San Diego was shut out, 1999 against Kansas City. Landry. Boy, he just gives this team a boost every time he touches the ball. 6:41 left. Final 6 minutes and change here in Miami. 37-0 Dolphins. It's a pitch to Williams. Damian Williams shifting gears out across midfield. Tomorrow on CBS, tune in to see why critics are calling Scorpion Brady fun. Don't miss the new hit drama, Scorpion. That's tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Second and 4 after the 6-yard gain. 406 yards of offense for Miami. And a timeout called with 6 minutes to play. We'll come back more.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Get your own big hot pastrami melt at Subway. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Down to 6 minutes remaining, 37-0 Miami leading San Diego. Dolphins will improve to 5-3. The Chargers will drop to 5-4. Damian Williams brought down by Gatchkar. And the clock is rolling, now facing third down with Matt Moore.
Yeah, the reason Matt Moore's in the game, obviously 37-0. And Tannehill just playing 3 quarters. 24 of 34, 288, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And at the time was the leading rusher at 48 yards.
Matt Moore, who was actually drafted by the Angels back in 2004. Catch made by Hoskins. Gator Hoskins brought down. And I bring up the baseball reference because I can congratulate you, Dan Fouts, on another World Series title. Huge San Francisco Giants fan.
I grew up, born and raised in San Francisco when the Giants moved to the city by the bay in 1958. They brought a great history, but it had been a long time since they'd won a World Series, 1954 until...
You're a dynasty now.
2010, 2012, 2014.
It's 3 and 5 years.
Tremendous job by Bruce Bochy, Larry Baer and company.
Would you have sent Alex Gordon home?
Not with Brandon Crawford on the relay. He had the ball at about the same time that that young man was rounding third. He would have been out by a mile.
It's another timeout called by Miami. Why?
Well, we could talk about the NBA schedule and the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Your ball club there. How's it look?
Really? You really want to know? All right, let's check in with Jenny Dell down on the field. Jenny?
Well, guys, in a game like this, I thought I would bust out some of the fun facts. So Cameron Wake's full name is actually Derek Cameron Wake. Now, he went to Penn State, and he was an undrafted free agent for the Giants back in 2005, and he was known as Derek at the time. He then got cut by the team. He got a job as a mortgage broker and got a job at a gym. He was given a name tag that said Cameron, his middle name, so he just rolled with it. And he went on and signed a contract with the Canadian Football League in 2007. He won as Cameron. He led the league with 38 sacks over 2 years. And he said, you know what, this Cameron guy, he's a much better football player than Derek ever was. So he stuck with the name, and now we know him as the Pro Bowl pass rusher that he is with the Dolphins here today.
Multiple personalities.
That's right.
I guess. Cameron, Derek, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to call him, the guy has earned his place in this league after that 2-year stint that you mentioned in the CFL, played for British Columbia, the Lions. He was the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and now a 3-time Pro Bowler here in the NFL. Damian Williams gets the call, and that's enough for a first down for Miami, a 4-yard pickup. Down to 3:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Wake is one of the leaders of this Miami squad. The question's going to be, can they build on this 3-game winning streak with tough competition coming up? This is just their second win this season against a team that currently has a winning record. They beat New England to open things up.
They were worried about this matchup too. I think highly motivated because they knew the Chargers coming off of back-to-back losses really didn't want to go into their bye week at 5-4, but the Dolphins outplayed the Chargers in every phase of the game, and it continues now.
Williams with another carry. Works it to the 18-yard line. The total yards are now 437 for Miami, 171 for San Diego. So this is what they've done today compared to what they've done entering action.
And defensively, getting those turnovers, obviously key. 3 interceptions off of Phillip Rivers and a Rivers fumble.
Pitch it to Williams. Add his numbers.
Yeah, who's showing some pretty good versatility is Jawan James, the first-round pick out of Tennessee. Started the game at right tackle. He's now playing left tackle, and he had that steamrolling block that opened the hole for Lamar Miller to score the touchdown in the first half. But very mobile, big guy getting out in front on that play.
So 2:20 left. Now this has just been a fun day all around for Miami. Every facet. Williams spun down. And we'll hit the 2-minute warning here in South Florida. 37-0. The Dolphins. They've controlled it from the start. This week, Thursday Night Football showcases an AFC North rivalry. The Browns and the Bengals, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, live on NFL Network. 2nd and 11 for Miami. Damian Williams carrying some defenders with him to the 10-yard line. Clock rolling, 1:50 left. Coming up after the game, time permitting, the NFL Today update presented by LG G3. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cower will have the latest NFL scores and highlights. A lot of Miami highlights, no San Diego highlights. On 3rd down, Williams shifts to the other side of Moore and gets dropped short of the 10-yard line. Have to go back to 1999, the last time San Diego was shut out. They lost 34-0 at Kansas City.
And it'll be a long time between victories for San Diego. They'll have a bye week. He talked about those 23 days with just 1 game. But it's tough. Got to get healthy. You got to get back to a positive frame of mind, because this is one that will linger for a long time.
33-year drought in Miami. Williams stopped on 4th down. San Diego will take over with 30 seconds left. San Diego offense is coming on the field for the final 26 seconds. And the Dolphins fans that stayed cheering on this team. Just tremendous effort all around for Miami. Every week you try to get a read on the teams that you're covering, and San Diego just came across very confident. And while Miami felt good about the 2-game winning streak, I still sense that they're trying to figure out what their identity was and who they are exactly.
Well, and the win last week against Jacksonville was certainly offensively wasn't very good. The defense came through then, but they were searching for this type of win where they dominated in all 3 phases.
It's a 3-game winning streak for the Miami Dolphins. They shut out the San Diego Chargers 37-0. San Diego has now dropped 3 in a row. 443 yards of offense for Miami. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader, the Broncos at the Patriots, or the Raiders take on Seattle. So for Hall of Famer Dan Fouts, Jenny Dell, the rest of our CBS crew, Ian Eagle saying so long from Miami. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the NFL update presented by LG3. We'll send you to JB after this.